Sometimes following your calling is the thing that keeps you away from actually living your dream life.
Hi, my name is Araya, and I currently live on this horse farm and animal rescue here in Italy with my dog Arlo and our growing little zoo. I love to share about spirituality and wellness, travel and my van adventures, and living a life without limitation or fear of what others think. I live in this glamping tent on the farm now, and when I arrived to Italy, it was my dream to find a home base. Now that we have one, it kind of feels like the adventure has just begun. So thank you to my subscribers, clients, and Patreon supporters for making this dream possible.
And the reason why this is because so often we will get super attached to the idea of what our calling is and achieving that calling that we once had, that we ignore all the things that come up on the way to that calling. And so I talk about this kind of often, where it's like maybe you were just meant to have that calling to bring you to one place, and then when you arrive to one place, you're guided to making a turn, making like a left turn rather than going straight. And so recently, I've been doing this road to Norway. I've been getting my life all ready and my van all ready. Open this so it's not all blowing in my face. I've been getting my van ready, I've been getting my animals ready, and then it kind of just occurred to me that one day all these different people in my life at like different tiers of relationship, I guess, were offering me the same message, which is like, you're injured and you should probably, do the safer thing, and your health comes first. And the fact that I had like 3 people in this one day saying that, I was like, okay, angels and guides, I hear you. So then I looked at my life and I was like, okay, well, if I don't go to Norway, where am I meant to go? I know I'm not meant to be here on the farm right now. I've received all the signs and messages, but also it's hot. There are flies eating me alive. That's why we're recording in the van now, which is very nice. And I have like fly nets in here, although somehow they get through. Like the one at the end of the back of my van, it just comes off. Like I'm watching it fall off right now, actually. I need to find a way to like glue it on. I've had the magnet ones, but those ones really irritate me, especially when I'm coming in and out of the van so often. Anyway, I know I'm meant to go, but I wasn't sure where I was meant to go. And I was also like, so not really, like, because I had the courage to change pretty quick, but a part of me was attached to the idea of going to Norway, because I was like, I made the road to Norway. I said I'm going to Norway, and I will go to Norway. I can't wait to go to Norway. I know that there's something there for me. But my divine guidance has, and like, divine guidance through messages, divine guidance through my physical perceived reality, through my physical body. Also, it looks like I'm kind of naked right now. And it's saying go somewhere else. And so Ireland has come up a lot as well. And I feel like I almost like didn't listen when it was coming up before. And I had asked a question maybe months and months ago, like, where am I meant to go right now? And I kept finding 4-leaf clovers, and other people were finding 4-leaf clovers and handing them to me. And so it's okay. We're always in the right place at the right time, even if we don't listen to our divine guidance and don't go that place that we're being guided to. Later on, you might receive the download to go again. And so it's about having the courage to change your calling. It's about having the courage to listen to the callings on the way to your calling. And when you do that, then you start flowing. But if you get too attached to how it's supposed to look, or too attached like how much time you've spent, like how often do we hear that people are like, I stayed in this relationship because, we've been together for 10 years and, it just felt like we were meant to fight for it. When really deep down they knew they had that calling to leave. They knew it was time to go. So we can not waste time, because time is never wasted, but we can spend more time learning that lesson that could have been learned quicker if we don't just have the courage to continue to follow and continue to follow and continue to follow, and to not have attachment, and to not get, caught up in, well, I told this person I'm going, or I've spent this much time here, or I've spent this much money on it. That's rooted in attachment, that's rooted in lack, that's rooted in fear of going into the unknown, fear of doing the I want to say the crazy thing, the abnormal thing, but yeah, doing the crazy thing. The crazy thing is changing all the time. And that's what makes you interesting. I oftentimes will catch myself and I'll be like, oh, maybe, a part of me, because it's important to acknowledge the parts of ourselves. I was like, wow, I'm so much. Like, I live in a van and a tent in Italy with 3 dogs and a cat. And I'm going to Ireland now, and then to Norway, and I have these rescue horses, and I rescued them from a guy in the mafia. The mafia guy's back, and he's staring at me. He called me a little blonde bird, which I was like, oh, that sounds so endearing. But I guess that's not endearing in Italian. I think bird it's an insult. But yeah, I'm like, wow, I'm so much. But that's what makes you wonderful. That's what makes you authentic. That's what makes you interesting. And why fear being interesting and living the life that you want to live? It's, even though there's no one else going to walk you there, no one else is going to hold your hand there, no one else is going to be able to tell you, like, this is that moment. This is that moment when you had the calling one place and then you had to go, like, take a left turn out of nowhere. One moment, there's a horsefly, gotta get it out. Success. So I think the quickest way to your dream life is having the courage to say, it's okay that I'm changing course. And like I was just saying, the thing that I want to emphasize is that no one else will do this for you. I think that I don't want to say hardest, but one of the hardest things about being a business owner or being this person who trusts yourself and who's wild and free is that no one else is going to do it for you. No one's going to say, you have to wake up today and you have to figure out all the different ferries that go from France or Spain to either Ireland or the UK. You got to get the times. You got to look into what's needed in the pet passports. You got to figure out the policies of animals and how often you're allowed to visit them in the vehicle. And you got to figure out your van registration. And you got to figure out, no one else is going to do that for you. No one else is going to figure out how to translate things in another language for you, or whatever it is in your situation. That's my situation. I woke up a month ago and I was like, I need a change. And I was like, I don't know where it is. I think it's Norway, but I got to get everything ready. And I had a lot of things that I had to get ready, and I did. But I was the one who held my hand and my divine team. And I said, okay, let's get going. And I was like, which way do I know I thrive best? I was like, well, when I have accountability. And so my accountability is my business coach, therapist, my friends. But really, when I set a deadline, when I put it on here, when I start creating content about it, when I start, going down that path, that's when I know I'm going to do something big. And so, but with that, right, it's then you have all the expectations of other people who are like, but Norway, and not that anyone's really doing that, but that's where you really have to dig deep and be like, okay, no, Ireland now. It's the same thing with getting in a love relationship. You get in a love relationship and you guys are talking about we're in love, we want the same things, and blah, 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 we're gonna get married, blah, blah, blah. But one of the people isn't feeling it. Arlo, I'm watching you. Arlo. He needs to get a cone on him because he has a little wound and he will not stop licking it. I have to go drive and get the cone. Don't do it again, buddy. Good boy. Puppy motherhood. So yeah, and I'm like, okay, well, even if it changes from Ireland, that's fine. The only thing that matters in life is your happiness. And the way that we live our own happiest, healthiest life is by following our joy and following our curiosity and letting go of the rest. letting go of resentment, forgiving, like true forgiveness, pulling through the truth into any kind of resentment, and realizing that we're all part of one infinite consciousness, and that every single person and every single experience has come here or been this reflection to you, this mirror to you, so that you could see the truth of who you are and really learn what you do want. Because on the other side of what you don't want is what you do want. So every time you're experiencing something that you don't like, someone says something that you don't like, someone says something that hurts you, on the other end of that is what you truly want. It's what you want to hear. It's what you want to feel. It's the life that you want. Right? Maybe you don't like your apartment and you realize you really want to have a house with a yard. Maybe you don't like the traffic in LA and you realize you really want to have a farm in Tennessee. Maybe, but this is how we create. The conscious is how we create. And so allow yourself to start taking that as your fuel and moving forward with gratitude, and that sets yourself free. And if you can just let go of everything, well, they should have said this, it should have been like this, if this was unfair, that's not going to help you, right? It doesn't matter. The victim mindset will not serve you. It will only hold you back. And so have the courage to move forward. Have the courage to let go. Have the courage to make left turns and right turns and going straight and backwards. It's okay. Whatever you're being called to in this moment, go. And then when it changes, go. And then when it changes, go. Flow with it. It might look different than anyone else's path that has ever lived, but that's the point. You are a pioneer of your own path. You came to earth to make a whole new story that no one else has ever lived before. And so those callings and those desires and those little curiosities in that one place that you keep searching and searching and searching, and that craft that you keep searching, and that, those ideas that keep popping in your head and you're like, well, maybe someday, those are meant for you. Maybe ask yourself, what do I need to do to make it happen? Make a list of all the things that have to happen in order for you to be able to make that decision to go towards that thing. And then find how you can hold yourself accountable and do it. And then you set yourself free by getting everything ready in my van with my animals, with myself. I have set myself free to now have the freedom to decide where to go. You'll arrive there. And the quickest way there is if you have the courage to change course. So, with all that being said, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you're new here. I am uploading a Q&A right now, my first ever Q&A. So I'm going to put it on my Patreon first, and then it will go on my YouTube. So that will be up soon. If you're on my Patreon, you have the option to ask questions for the next Q&A. I only got through like a fourth of the questions for this one, so I might still use some of the questions for the next one, or we'll see how it goes. I still have flies in here. I think they're getting through that hole. Okay, I am going to continue getting ready for this journey. I get my MRI results tomorrow for my ankle. And if you guys saw the other day, I got my brain results, and that was all good. So the unclear area that was a concern in the CT ended up just being a benign cyst. And so it looks like the sinus pressure and the neck stuff all must have to do at the root of it with the nervous system. And so I've lived with this condition called mast cell activation syndrome, and when you look it up, it says that there's no cure. But so same thing with like SIRS. I had chronic inflammatory response syndrome, I had Lyme. And so the things that have set me free and allowed me to travel the world and, go to 8 countries last year with my dog, and now set off on this new journey to Ireland and then wherever else next, is nervous system regulation. It is rewiring the brain. And so after I got those results the other day, I was like, oh shit, like I am going to commit hardcore to the number one thing that I know will not only heal my body, but it will help me manifest my dreams, because you go to your chosen timeline every single day in this practice of retraining the brain. And you also then have the benefit of healing all these different conditions like Lyme disease, potentially, I have a lot of friends who were like bedridden or in wheelchairs with Lyme and then did brain retraining, and now they set themselves free. Also the same thing with like clients. I had a few clients who had EMF sensitivity, couldn't leave their home, and then they did brain retraining. Now they're, living their life. I had one woman who couldn't even hold a landline phone. She was out by a lake, like super far away from anything, couldn't go to the grocery store because of the chemicals and the EMFs. And I had her do brain retraining, and we would have like very short phone calls on her landline. And then recently her daughter had reached out and emailed me and just said like, hey, I want to let you know that my mom is my mom again. Like she's back to living her life and like she can come to my house, she can like live her life normally. And so that was incredible. That was really, really, really incredible. And it's just the power of brain retraining. So healed, 21 days to regulate. If you are someone that you know is going through a chronic condition and has tried everything, like all the different treatments and supplements and detoxes and diets and all the things, maybe this program is for you or them. So go ahead and sign up or send it to them. I really think it's going to be so powerful, and I designed it so that it will be cheaper and less intensive than other brain retraining programs, because like the one that I did, it was like way too much for somebody who's chronically ill, like all these videos and all these things, and it was so much information, and I just could not, like, I couldn't think straight. Like I could barely remember my own name, let alone like where I put the keys. I would put the keys in the fridge. Like I was like very neurologically impaired from this condition. So I made it more simple. I put all this stuff, I'm putting all this stuff into the 1 hour brain retraining guided meditation that takes you through what you would go through in those, but like with guidance, and so that you can just like relax and follow and have your monkey brain that's maybe a little dysregulated be guided there and held. And then there's additional daily videos in the program too that will provide additional support, but you don't have to go through 3 or 4 days of watching so many videos to just understand like these basic steps. So I invite you to that. Also, Wild and Free, my women's retreat in October. Super excited about that. It's going to be here in Italy, so I'll come back here. There's a spa close by, so it'll be at the spa, and then we'll come to the farm. We'll do trail riding, we'll do some horse therapy, we'll do yoga and meditation and breath work and fire ceremonies, and just like have community and do creativity. It's going to be amazing. I hear my little puppy woke up. And then I have my other programs as well. 21 days to rewire your brain, which is more, it has to do with health, but it's more about like the manifestation and like quantum leaping and stepping into your chosen timeline. 21 days to know your divine guidance. And then I also have my 12-week program, which is called Decondition. So whichever you feel called to, I invite you to, and I will see you in the next video, the Q&A probably.